Back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay. Again, another post debate reading here. I'm appreciative of the fact that Sterling came on for a pop-up broadcast for 15 minutes or so. He doesn't normally do things like that. Linda G came on for about 35-40 minutes on her channel. Kim from Intuit View was also on. Other readers came on trying to sort of assuage the anxiety, and there's been a lot of anxiety, and me especially. I wear it on the sleeves a lot, and today was a rough day. And in my previous video, I kind of vocalized what I was grumpy about. One thing that Sterling had that I found really interesting in his reading, I don't know if I put a link to his reading in my community page. Check it out if you haven't yet. It's an interesting read. But one thing he was talking about that could potentially happen is that there might be a rethinking of Biden's VP. Now, Kim, when she, I think it was Kim when she did hers, or Linda when she did hers, didn't see that happening. They saw Harris staying on there. Sterling was curious, though, thinking that Harris might get moved over to like a Supreme Court position. If she steps down or steps back and then bringing somebody different in. And the energy he was getting was that with Biden's performance last night, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny on his VP pick. So they might want to have somebody who's more dynamic or different than how Kamala Harris presents. Frankly, I think Kamala Harris would be quite a fine president myself. But I think I mentioned this when they were floating the idea of her being a vice president, and I've got no problem with that as a vice president or president. But could you imagine her being your attorney general? Could you imagine her being on the Supreme Court? To go, if you're not quite sure if you'd like that or not, go watch the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. That lady was fuego on that. And I was talking with Michelle about that. She has got no problem holding people's feet to the fire and just giving this very impassive look. Wow, that must really be uncomfortable. You probably would want to do something about that. No? Okay. We can wait. It's like, man. So I just want to look. What's the energy around the thought of changing the vice presidency? And again, I do not think Kamala Harris has done a poor job at all. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm kind of following up on that energy because it's something I haven't really considered before. My entertainment purposes only. What's the energy around the VP, Kamala Harris's VP position? Are they going to keep her for 2024, or are they looking at maybe moving her to a position that better suits some of her strong points, and then bringing somebody in who's more dynamic? Current situation is the Three of Wands. Could be looking at it. No, it's making plans. Two of Wands is kind of making plans. Three of Wands is if they were thinking about doing that, they're starting to check all the chess pieces. And make calls and have meetings and have discussions along those lines. It would certainly shake up the Democratic National Convention if something like that were to happen. Crossed with the Burden and the Magician, it would not be an easy thing to pull off. I think you would have some public relationship issues, and not the least of which is I think Biden has a lot of loyalty to people. Now, for the folks that prepared him for the debate, maybe you shouldn't have so much loyalty. You might want to shake things up a little bit. Just saying. But maybe making that change is a very difficult thing for Biden to do. And maybe it's a lesson he needs to learn. I'm not sure. Underneath it is the Magician card. The underlying energy is maybe a big shakeup is what's needed. And I don't mean a big shakeup as in let's get a new presidential candidate. You're going to have to wait for 2028 for that to happen. But there could be a deal in the works. Just saying. In the past, we got the Seven of Cups. It's not the delusion, it's the integrity. It's taking the good with the bad. Again, Kamala Harris has some incredible strengths. A lot of 10 out of 10s. Warm fuzziness is maybe not her 10 out of 10 skill set. There, I've heard stories from her staff that she's difficult to work with. I don't know one way or another. I've never worked with her, nor do I know anybody in her staff. But what you see is what you get with Kamala Harris, and you have to sort of look in the current situation. Is she the right person? I think she's done fine. We'll see how this goes. Current situation is the Nine of Coins. The well taken care of woman. She's done well. She has done well for herself. She appreciates the things she has. I think this is her in her current situation. In her vice president role. Now, with the robes, does that mean is there something this woman would desire more than her current role? That would be a question for her to answer. Overarching energy, and that's kind of where I'm going with it, is the Eight of Swords. Does she feel trapped? Does she feel inhibited in this role? Are you in a cocoon and you need to bust out of that cocoon to really be the butterfly, that transformation to be exactly who you need to be? That could be a really good question, or very heart-to-heart may not be the right word, but kind of a talk that needs to be had. Is she happy with what she's doing? Is she being fully utilized to her strengths? The lesson to be learned is the Three of Swords. This would be a very delicate thing. I think if you were to remove her from that position, she would look at it as a betrayal. I think Biden would look at it as a betrayal. He seems to have a lot of loyalty to folks. So if you're going to do that, it has to be her decision, and you can't pressure her to that. Maybe she's never liked this position. She thought it was going to be more than it was, or different than it was. Outcome is the Nine of Cups, which is a card I often use for judges and juries and things along those lines. Hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. If she wants a change and they can manifest it, it could happen. So now, it would, okay, let's put it this way. If they decide to go with that and they do it in the right way, where they're getting her input, asking her how she feels like she's doing, does she want to make this change? Basically, with that Three of Swords, what is your heart telling you to do? Because there's nothing worse than she feels like, well, I owe it to Joe to stay in the VP ship, but I really want to be the Attorney General. And Joe's like, wow, I really could, she'd be so much better than Merrick Garland as Attorney General, and if she were the Attorney General, not only would she do well, but then I could get, Gavin Newsom in there and really ride a wave with young people. Because his policies, or Gretchen Whitmer, somebody whose policies are going to resonate with younger people. And, neither one of them wants to hurt the other person's feelings, even though they're both thinking the exact same thing. So there is there has to be some honesty and some forthrightness, and the risk of hurting somebody's feelings. So with Sterling's thing, is it possible? So far, it seems like it's possible. Let's throw 4 cards on Kamala Harris. Is she happy in her current role as the vice president? The Magician, manifesting. Knight of Cups. Offering that friendship, that peace offering here. Wanting something new. Knight of Wands. Page of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. Is she happy? I think she's doing all right. But there's that manifestation card again. With something new. An offer being made, part of a plan, messaging of values. It would not surprise me if he's offering her this, because this would be starting a new journey. Now, the other thing could be is that, you know, she might want to be the president. And if, you know, Joe Biden, for some reason, this is the great path to being a president. You know, you do your time as the vice president, you're familiar with the White House and how Washington works in that regard, and then it becomes your turn. But you know what the thing is that just because you're vice president doesn't guarantee you that you will be the nominee for the presidency. Ask Mike Pence that, right? Mike Pence didn't exactly get that ringing endorsement that he was looking for. From that 4-card spread, my take-home point is she would be open to it. I was asking if she was happy. I think Spirit saying she would be open to it. Seven of Swords. Kind of, you have to be sly about it. Would switching VPs be beneficial to Joe Biden's reelection? How about that? Would switching VPs, would this be beneficial for Joe Biden's reelection? Page of Swords. That's not a ringing endorsement. Yeah, it's different. Will it appeal to young people, young women? You know, go ahead, throw Taylor Swift in there as your VP. You want to watch Trump freak out? Do that. That would be amazing. Huh. No, okay, the hunt is not to have Taylor Swift as the VP. I'm wondering if this is Taylor Swift. Let's see if what we've got going on here. We've got agreements, contracts, weariness, decisions to be made, back-earned deals. Would this be beneficial? Possibly. This is looking at now bringing some fresh blood in here. Central underneath it is because Biden looked like he was old and tired. Do you bring in somebody new? What are you going to do with it? Negotiations in the back room. You know, one should not try and do these things based on poll numbers. I don't know if it's telling me that, though, because the whole thing with Taylor Swift jumping in, I wasn't expecting that. And the reason why I want to bring that up is because these cards fit that better. Picture this being Taylor Swift, and she watched that debate last night. And she's already, in the past, advocated for her followers to do what's best for them and follow their values. I almost think that because of his performance last night, Taylor Swift is not panicking, but alarmed. And it might be enough that she starts working to join with the Biden campaign and making a difference with young people, trying to motivate young people to get out and vote. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to ask, because this is not where I was expecting it to go. This is why sometimes it's hard to do research on these things, because I wasn't expecting Taylor Swift to come up in this conversation. Donald Trump is expecting it. I mean, she's very beautiful after all, and he said that 3 times. So clearly she doesn't want to endorse Biden, because why would you endorse against the guy who called you beautiful and like a legitimate billionaire or something like that? Creeper. Dude's a creeper. All right. Energy around Taylor Swift. She's not going to be the VP. No, teasing on that one. She's not going to be a VP. But now I'm curious. Is Taylor Swift, was she impacted by that debate last night to the point of doing something here? Stop bouncing. Eight of Wands. Messaging. Things happening quickly with messaging. King of Swords. You know, it's interesting. When Biden was out there today in the rally, this is the card that came out as his outcome card, his King of Swords. Cutting through the BS. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Call it like it is. And reaching out to young people with your values. What do the Democrats stand for? Taylor Swift would be very good at reaching out to young people. She has millions of followers. In the past is the death card, bringing things to an end. You can think of this as being Biden's campaign up until last night. That's over. We got a brave new world here. Current situation. That Nine of Wands. People are worried, concerned about his performance and what's going to happen next. There's your backroom dealing again. Three of Coins. You know, and this could be Taylor Swift looking like, oh my God, this could fall apart. No, she'll be fine. I mean, she's got billions. She'll be fine. But Taylor Swift isn't the type of person who worries just about herself. Kind of that way with her. Deals being made. There's that burden card again. The lesson to be learned is the burden. With great power comes great responsibility. And it may not be the thing that she wants to do, because when you're an entertainer like her, you can alienate a bunch of people in your audience if you take a political stand. That's why Dolly Parton doesn't do that. She tries not to get into that. Taylor Swift has... There was a video clip I saw of her talking with her parents or her manager or something along those lines on the last election, and she couldn't take it anymore. She had to do something. She understands the assignment. Out comes the Queen of Swords. She may well do something, because she's the type of person that is concerned about other people's well-being. And that other people will include women. And I think she understands the situation. Is she going to be your VP? No. Is she going to maybe up her game? Maybe reach out and coordinate with the Democrats? Get some momentum going for Biden? That's entirely possible. Because right now, when I'm talking about that Five of Wands, the hillbilly brawl card and beating bushes, this is that kind of thing you need to do. It really is an all hands on deck type moment. Let's see who rises up to the occasion. Will Kamala Harris be step down from the VP-ship to pursue something else? It's possible. I wouldn't say it's a 0% chance. Would she be better as like an Attorney General or Supreme Court Justice? Yeah, probably. I think that would really play to her strengths. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to happen. But we'll see. It's not my call to make. That's Biden's call to make. And we'll see how this all pans out. It's funny. Kim from Intuit View says, just keep watching, because she said for months that just because what we see now is what we see doesn't mean the election is going to look that way. In fact, she sees it looking wildly different than it looks today. And she's been saying that for months. And she's not even sure what that means. But that's been a very consistent message with her. So that could be one of the things that changes. We will see. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.